Peace, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Full Notice Podcast. I am your host, Ramari.
Co-host Kael or Kael.
Co-host. Yeah, the guy.
I gotta hit him with the Spanish and the American.
Co-host Speedy Shepherd. You know, we out here, man. Yes.
Peace, brother.
Peace, brother.
Today we have a very special guest in the building. Probably put some music back.
Oh my God.
Yay.
The drop.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful guest today. Speedy, this is your guest. Would you like to introduce us?
Oh, this is she. So let me tell you a little bit about Ceci, right? She reached out to me personally, to come together and collab, on content and doing some videos, reels, whatnot, to pretty much expand her brand, what she has going on. She's a workhorse, straight from New York, came to Jersey, and she reached out to me personally, and I had to bring her here. Introduce her into some greatness, the rest of the greatness that's part of me, and I'm glad to have her because I know she has a powerful story, based on what we already pre-gamed about when we talked. And welcome, Ceci.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We have a lot of questions.
Oh man, I'm ready.
We got a lot of questions. And the first question is, what is your legacy? What do you want to leave behind?
Ooh, that is honestly, I don't even want to say money. I wanna leave more than just. I want to leave an impact, and not just to my family, to everyone around the world, and women and kids especially. I do have a fundraiser, not a fundraiser. A nonprofit. Oh my God! I have a nonprofit that I want to continue growing, and it's mainly for kids for financial literacy. Again, I come from the hood too. I came from Washington Heights, New York, and I didn't know what that was. So
New York.
I didn't know what financial literacy was. Never taught to me in school or at home. So I feel like it's part of my duty to give back to the community and just share the knowledge that I'm building myself today.
Okay.
What is it exactly that you do for the audience?
So I am a business coach. I teach a lot of entrepreneurs on the foundation of business. Again, always wanting to impact some way, somehow. A lot of entrepreneurs doesn't know the importance of just having the foundation of business. They just go straight to business. Or I want to start something, but you start something and then what happens? How do you grow that business? So there's different phases of business, and a lot of people don't know how to take it to the next level. So with all the mentorship that I've done and we are paid for, I want to share that knowledge over to entrepreneurs.
Right. You want to give back.
Definitely.
Can you bring the mic a little closer, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, you good. You're good.
So, Speedy, you got some questions? I got a lot of questions
Oh,
just
man.
based on what
I was curious about. I just wanted to know, you say you're from New York.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the viewers are curious to know, not all of it, but how you came about. How did Ceci come about to where she is now? Coming from where you coming from,
Oh, I don't want to get emotional, but obviously I lived in Brooklyn for about 10 years of my life when I was younger. And then I moved back to Washington Heights. I was working in the medical field as an ophthalmology technician. Once I entered that place, I said to myself, I'm not lasting more than 4 years, just because I saw everyone was miserable. I didn't want to be in there for too long. People were just waiting for retirement. I always knew I wanted to be into real estate because I love interior designing. I just didn't know how to enter. So I went to a seminar, and it was a 3-day seminar, and it kind of completely changed my mindset. Then I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
I think that's a start for everyone.
Yeah, right.
And honestly, yes, I literally quit my job after reading that book. 6 months later, I had to figure it out. I have a 7-year-old son now. He was 2 when I quit my job. Everyone was like, "You're out of your mind.
Right.
Like you're about to leave a union job."
You took a leap of faith.
Yeah, I really did. He was like, "You're about to leave a union job to just, just start your own thing and just quitting." I'm like, "Yeah."
That's very powerful.
I took an Uber the other day, and the lady, she had a job that she was making like 130,000 a year, and she did the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She had to. She was miserable. It's like money doesn't buy happiness. You know what I mean? So.
And it's when I was working at the hospital, I was working at the hospital 9 to 5. Then I was going to college for business. So it was just like it made no sense. I'm literally just doing like. I used to leave the house at 7 in the morning, come back home like at 10 o'clock at night. I barely saw my son anywhere. So I'm like, I just took the leap of faith. I quit my job and I started wholesaling. And then, that was a rocky road. I really thought I was going to get my first deal like in the first month or so.
So it's like for the viewers, can you explain what wholesaling is for those that I don't know? Yeah.
So wholesaling is you honestly finding a distressed property, get it on contract, and sounds much better. Get it on contract, and then you sell that contract over to an investor that's going to either flip the property or they're going to buy and hold the property, which is going to rent or stuff like that. And then in between, you get a fee for it. So
did you get your license, or are you just straight wholesaling? No
you don't need a license.
Yeah,
you do need to know how to negotiate. That was my hard part because I used to be in the medical field most of the time. So I'm like, I don't really know how to negotiate, but I figured it out after I was there,
I did real estate in the city back in the day. What timeline was this? Like, what year did you start?
Right.
And kind of break that down.
So I left my the hospital job in June 2018. So ever since I've just been self-employed. I was working with I was wholesaling with one of my friends, because obviously wholesaling sounds so beautiful, like you just think that you just sell the contract over.
We already know.
But if you don't have a system, if you don't have a business or a foundation for it, it's not going to be long term. So we built, the foundation. We built the company from the bottom up, and I was with her for about 4 or 5 years. I was just like, at this point, like, okay, it was coming repetitive for me already. So I just wanted to do my own thing. I started working for a construction company as an operational manager. Helping them out, systemize their business as well. I saw that I was just helping a lot of people. With just starting the foundation in their company, that I was just like, hey, I can do this for like living. This is what I enjoy doing, and I'm passionate when I'm sitting there in the room just really helping business owners with their companies. Like, we look at the nitty gritty, like how can we take this company to the next level, looking at all the issues that they're currently having. Most of the time it's like people don't really see, because they're so in their company that they're not seeing other perspectives.
We're all business owners here, and I'll be interested to know your take on like business structure. What would be how do you go about it? Do you look at people's whether they have an S corp, LLC? How do you analyze someone's business? Like, what steps do you take, and how did you go from wholesaling to, which is real estate, to then now all of a sudden knowing all this information about business?
Right.
And
so being in the wholesaling world, we really we didn't want just a profit, we wanted a business. So we honestly, we are like grinding all the time. We were funding for we were paying for mentorship. That's how we got into it. Like, I got into what I do now because we paid for mentorship. We had business consultants. We used to go to a lot of mentorships. Courses, we used to take all of that. So all of that knowledge that I was gaining for those 4 or 5 years, I was just like, wait a minute. Now I see like any business, and I'm like, I can see the issue. Just because I gathered all those information, and we were applying it every single day. We had a structure from like 9 to 6. Just because, people think that you have your own business, you work whenever you want. No, you create a structure for yourself. We had a 9 to 6. We work Saturdays as well, so we were working 6 days of the week, and every single day we were just like applying everything we were learning. So we hired a business consultant for a whole year. So they were like moderating our meetings. They were like every quarter they would meet up with us and go over our current issues. How can we find solutions for those issues? And we created rocks, which is like goals, and then we just put it in paper, and then it's accountability.
Just
That's a
holding
lot
yourself
of
accountable,
a lot of businesses fail because they have no accountability and leadership, and that's where I feel like I gain my power.
By any chance, do you practice GAP? The generally accepted accounting principles.
No.
Are you familiar with that?
The GAP?
Yeah.
No.
GAP. All right. Yeah. Well, I think especially for you, as a business advisor, right?
Yeah.
I think if you research GAP, I think that will, take your business even to the next level, because GAP is, they're the principles that businesses use for accounting, just to take a business from the, their accounting ledger from one side of the accounting to the accrual side, which is now you're dealing with futures and future contracts and things like that.
Yeah.
So, I'm not gonna get
more into detail.
Yeah,
no, I got you.
Yeah, definitely something
I'll
to
look
look into.
Yeah, thank you.
Something I was curious about to know about you, and it's a question I was thinking about today as I was driving. I was like, all right, I know she worked a 9 to 5. You explained that, and then you crossed over. There's something that a lot of people struggle with when it comes to crossing over and converting.
Yeah.
So when did you feel like you arrived to entrepreneurship? Like, when was the day? Do you remember the day, the time, the feeling? Do you remember that moment when you arrived?
I don't want to say I arrived, because I'm still trying to find my path. Every single day I wake up and it's just like, I'm just gonna what the day has for me. I'm still working on myself mentally, physically, every single day. So I don't have like a destination, I guess I would say. But what I want to say to people out there is that entrepreneurship is not as easy or as beautiful as it seems. I've gone through a lot of hardship, if you want to say it that way, financially, a lot of things. Even as a single mom, I've been separated from my son's father for my son was 2, so it's been a long road, just me and him, and just trying to figure it out. And I am the main provider, so I always have to like be on my feet, because I don't want to be in 5 years of being self-employed. It's like I don't know when is the next paycheck that's coming in. I don't know. I don't have like every Friday set schedule. Even when wholesaling, like it was straight commission, so it was just like if that deal closes, you get paid, but if it doesn't, then it is what it is. But it's just changing that mindset, that that money mindset. Like a lot of people, broke is just a mindset.
It is.
It's like, it's just, if you learn how to manage your money as well, it's just like you're going to figure it out. And God always got me.
God got you?
God got me.
God got me too.
100%.
That's great.
Mo, do you have any questions?
You're a mother, so how do you balance that? Like,
he wanted to come today because he swears he's my bodyguard.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, I can't. I don't know. He's amazing. He's 7 now, so it's a little bit easier. But again, like I've said this story multiple times, but it was tough wholesaling and like doing all that stuff, because I didn't have a time frame. Even though we said 6 o'clock, if a buyer is calling me for a deal 7, 8 o'clock, I'm not just gonna stop there. I'm gonna pick up that call. I'm gonna sit on the computer, sign that contract, do what I gotta do.
Right.
And he would be like, "Mom, like it's 6 o'clock. Why are you still sitting down? Like, where's he wanted that attention, and he's the only child, so that's a tough one. He wants the attention at all times.
It's hard for single parent households in general,
right?
Especially here in America. I think that it's something that we all can relate to, because we all come from that somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Or we know people.
Definitely.
Right. Would you
sure.
say that?
No, for sure.
Yeah,
I definitely agree.
We can relate. It's tough.
Yeah.
But you still got to move forward, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
How often do you get contracts? Is it you're getting one or two deals a month and maybe one of them falls through, or is it like you get 100 and out of that 100 maybe two or three fall through?
Oh,
or
wait,
one.
yeah, when we were wholesaling, we were making a margin of over like 60% of like deals. So that means like 60% will go through and 40% will die.
That's really
So
good.
it was good because we were structured, you know,
Mhm.
and we were good at negotiating when it comes to, because I was just there's two section in wholesaling also. They don't really say that also. Is acquisition and disposition. Acquisition acquires the property with the homeowner, and disposition dispo to the end buyer. So I was just dealing with only with the end buyer, with the investors. So I would negotiate with them, So I will always analyze the deals, make sure that the numbers make sense for the buyers. If it didn't, then it will go back to the acquisition. Like, go ahead and negotiate that with the seller because the numbers doesn't make sense.
Right.
So we were getting a profit at least of the minimum was 15,000, but that was already because we already generated enough deals, enough money, enough profit, and years.
Yeah, years in
Yeah,
the game.
years in the game. So it's like at the beginning, if it was 5,000, hey, we take that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, it was
You
a
knew your
business.
worth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, and it's the whole business that you're running. Like, my friend's still running her that same wholesaling business, and she got employees in the Philippines. She got employees here, so it's like $5,000 is not gonna pay the company.
Let me ask you a question. What is so it's just you guys, here in America, right? And then you guys have your employees overseas.
Yeah.
What would it take to scale that business, let's say to I don't know, maybe $1 billion business? Would you say that that's something that you would be able to achieve with the right personnel, the right team?
Yeah, you would need, honestly, well, business coaching. There's a lot of personality traits. A lot of people, personality profiling is called. A lot of people don't. There might be the right people for your company, but they might be sitting in the wrong seat.
Right.
So understanding how to communicate with certain people and understanding what kind of personality that they have is easier to communicate, and it's easier to understand if they fit in the company. For example, there's like mavericks, right? Mavericks are visionaries and they're good at sales. I wouldn't have them somewhere just doing admin because at the end of the day, they're going to fail. They're not going to be their best at just doing administration work. They're going to be good on the phone. So understanding that was the hard part for us at the beginning, because we just hired people just to hire people, and then we put them there just trying to figure it out. And then we were like, when we hired the business consultant, they were like, this person needs to get fired, this person is in the wrong seat. I'm like, holy crap, now it all makes sense. People are not going to succeed where they're not going to be great at. And as business owners, you fail to see that.
How would you identify the certain characteristics in order to place someone? Like, if you can give us some examples of what would make someone a seller, what would make someone a administrator? How would you identify that when interviewing someone? What are some of the questions that you would ask, or how does that go?
It depends, because a maverick, which is like one of the visionary profiling, is different than like a collaborator. Let's say myself, I'm a collaborator. I'm a visionary myself as well, but I am not like, I try not to be all over the place, and I could sit in multiple seats, because my job is mainly to collab with people, and I'm more outgoing. Even though I'm an introvert, I understand how to communicate with people. A maverick is just like, no, it got to be this way, and it is what it is.
Right.
So understanding that part, and I hired and fired a lot of people in wholesaling, and it was just understanding. It was just trials and errors as you go.
You make anyone cry?
No, I cried after.
So you were the one crying.
Yeah. After the meeting, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to fire people.
Yeah, you gotta have tough skin, man.
Yeah, you do.
You gotta almost have like no emotion.
And understanding when to have emotion and being empathetic with people, because at the end of the day, we all human beings, right?
Of course.
Is understanding when to be empathetic, but also understand that in business, there's really not much emotion you can have
Exactly.
because it's like it's either
It's cutthroat. It's either, you know, you're gonna produce
Do or
results
die.
or not. Yeah.
do or die.
Did you work in an office space, or did you guys like, was it a remote work, you know, like work from home?
Well,
Gave
after the
people-
pandemic, we had
Mm.
no other choice.
Right,
But yeah, we literally started from the bottom in the basement. We had like, we rented out a basement. I will never forget. We rented out the basement. We literally like cleaned it out with Clorox. We cleaned everything out. We painted the wall, and we made it an office. Then like we moved up to the first floor. Then we moved out. We got our own office after that. So it was cool to see that, you know,
That growth, yeah.
that growth.
That's cool.
and it's amazing
How
to
long
see
did
that.
that take? Did
2018, 2019, like 2 years.
2 years of
2
hard
years.
work,
2
sweat equity,
years,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Something that I've been peeping, you know, I've been peeping game with Ceci and everything. You know. I know she's you know, she came up as a real estate agent. She did what she had to do. However, I saw the other day when I was going through her, I was lurking, you're a business coach as well, right? So
Yeah.
you coach people, you coach small businesses.
Yeah, small businesses.
So when did you become that? When did you embody that role?
I embodied that last year.
Yeah, how's
Yeah.
that been going along?
It's been good. I have clients all the time. Every month I have literally like 2 or 3 clients. Obviously, my goal is to just continue growing. But the amazing part is that they're recurrent. So it's like, it's amazing to see that my job is like being impacted some way, somehow. And it's amazing to see like just in a couple of months that I've been working with them that I just see the difference, and they voice that. So
That's
it's just like, damn, like when I sit in the room with them, I already know. Like it's just, that's where my expertise comes in, because I'm like, I'm more of a coach. Like I just feel like I'm just gonna let them talk. And a lot of people in business, they like, no, you're just employee, like, you know, you don't really have a say. But in business, if you don't have a team mentality, it's gonna be hard for you to grow. Even if you're the CEO or the
We
COO.
preach that.
Mhm.
We preach
Yeah.
that consistently.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
You can't do everything
You
alone.
can't. You cannot. You
It just
cannot.
doesn't work.
Nothing. A village,
Takes a
community,
village to raise a
society.
child,
Come
you know?
on, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask this question: what, you know, what was it for you that clicked in business that made you say, you know what, this is the route that I want to take? Because obviously, being an entrepreneur, we're entrepreneurs ourselves. We know. I call Cop all the time complaining, like, bro, I want to sleep at 6 a.m. Like, dude, I'm over here doing this, I'm doing that. I'm like, we got multiple businesses, so we're constantly like grinding, moving, you know,
Right.
movers and shakers, right? And that's a hard path to take. So as a woman, what made, you know, I mean, I'm sure your child motivates you a lot. What is the emotion, the feelings that you harness
Right.
to push forward? Because it's easier to be an employee than, you know, and if you had to kind of say something to like other women,
Right.
like what would you tell them?
I have a lot to say, but
Say it.
Yo, this is Full Notice
Yo.
Podcast, baby. We haven't even talked about aliens yet. You know that question's coming.
I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Just believe. I feel like I have a picture of where I want to be in my head, but honestly, like what keeps me going every single morning, I wake up at 5 in the morning. Like if I had a regular job, like you know, I'm at the gym by 5:30 in the morning, and I don't have a 9 to 5. I could just do that shit at like 3 o'clock in the.
You could curse.
Oh, okay. I could do this shit at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. No, I'm gonna keep the same grind because I'm like, I see the vision, so I'm gonna keep going. It's just not my son that motivates me. Honestly, like, if you don't have it, it has to come within. Like, I don't know how to even explain that feeling, but it comes within most of the time. Like, a person can only motivate you to an extent. Like, you know, something I've learned, and coming from the Hispanic culture, is that if you depend or if you have that motivation only on your kids, it's gonna be hard because they leave, regardless of the fact. Like they leave, and then what you have left?
Right.
Nothing. So
It's interesting you say that because, Kai, you know, in Dominican Republic, which we frequent. We travel, and when we go there, sometimes, like you'll speak to bodegas,
Yeah.
the bodegas, and like those corner stores that are there, and you speak to the people, and a lot of times they're there for 10, 15 years, and you look at their business, and it's kind of like all over the place. And me, someone that I look at that business and I almost have like OCD. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta fix this. I gotta tell him about this and his accounting, and I gotta, you know what I mean? Like my mind starts thinking like, how could I help this guy better his business? Because they don't even give receipts. So if you're not giving receipts,
You're not tracking.
Where's your accounting?
Where's your profit and loss?
So how do you deal with that? Because I know me, I'm like OCD with that.
I try. If some people don't want the help. You know what I mean? I have a lot of uncles that they are in business, but I'm the niece, so that's kind of hard. Like some people, ego is gonna get in the way, and hey, that's not my job. Like
Right.
at the end of the day, I can do so much. If I will always give some type of advice. It's up to them if they want to take it, but I don't take it personal. Like I know what I'm good at, and if that works for them, hey, who am I to judge?
Yo, you guys, because I'm telling you,
But it is tough though.
I'll ask my questions. You guys gotta
About
jump in
business?
there. I'm about to ask her another question. You guys want to
Ask. Go ahead. Ask. it.
Okay. So if there's one piece of information that you say is like your golden nugget, right? That you would say, okay, this piece of information can change your life. What would that be?
Therapy.
Get therapy?
Therapy.
Okay.
Therapy.
Yeah.
I didn't expect
Wow,
that.
man, me
Why?
neither.
Why?
Yeah.
Preach.
Break it down. Why therapy?
Therapy changed my life. Honestly, that's not the only work I've done. I've done
You
a
go to
lot.
the gym.
No,
that's
but-
a form of therapy for some.
Yeah, no, but like I've done life coaches. I've done like I just don't work in just the business side. I work in my mental health a lot more because that's what's gonna keep me going. Like understanding that we are against each other, one another. Like within every single day we fight each like ourselves every single day.
Fighting demons.
Every day, literally, because there's always a balance in between bad and good. So understanding that good can outweigh the bad, it's another way of living life. There's more out there than just working and just to pay bills. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And therapy was that sense that like I knew something was off. Like I'm grinding, I'm doing what I gotta do. I was living alone already. I had just with me and my child, and I'm like, yo, I got my home, I got a car. I'm thankful I got a roof over my head. I got food on the table, but I still feel empty. Like what's going on? And once I started going to therapy, I'm like, wait a minute, like there's more out there. There's a different perspective. There's this, that, like And she was just like, I was trying to control. I'm trying to like teach my son differently. Or I'm trying to raise my son differently than what I was raised, the generations that I was raised, or like all that stuff. And I'm like, that's like a constant battle because my son's father has a different mentality, right? And then my mom has a different mentality. It's like, no, you don't do it this way. So it's just like, no, I'm reading books. I'm doing this. I'm trying to like implement something else. So going to coaching was going to therapy was something that was helping me at the current moment. Then after therapy, it's just therapy helps with helping you in your current emotions. Then I went deeper. Then I went to a life coach, a relationship coach. Then she tapped into my inner child. She tapped into my inner child, my traumas. And then you're able to break those behaviors because all those behaviors, all those energies is stuck within us.
I got a question. So on top of that, being that you said inner child, here's what I want to say. What have you said? What have you told your inner child?
Oh, that I love myself now. Because
Great answer.
It's just like I'm telling you guys, like it's hard trying to like we are our biggest critics. No matter what anybody say, like everybody's fighting themselves every single day. So understanding that we are the biggest critics because of our traumas. So once you break those behaviors, then you're like break free. Like okay, like wait, it is possible. I can do this. I can continue doing this. You thinking like being self-employed, like, you know, it's just like I wake up and I have $1 million. No, but I wake up and it's just like I'm gonna get to those $1 million.
I wanna
It's
help you get there.
possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely possible. It's not just $1 million. It's what can I do with that money, like, you
How
know.
can you give back? How can you help others achieve? See, me, one of the hardest things for me that I found, I guess this was a you know, personal experience that I've had. You know, I'm one of 18
Wow.
children. Yeah, shout out dad. You know, he passed away, but he
sorry.
definitely taught me a lot of valuable things. And having a big family is definitely one of the things that I look forward to having. And one of the things, you know, before my dad passed away, he gave me this ring, and he also told me, like, he gave me this watch. I had gifted it to him, and he gave it back. Yeah. And he grabbed me and said that you know, it was my responsibility to kind of bring my family together. Something that my mom she took issue with, because, you know, it's like bringing our family together. My family, not only is it really big, but they're everyone is in their own world, right? So I've always been a real big team player. I'm like, I really don't function well without a team. Like, I
Right.
need to have, I can't do everything by myself, right? And I found that trying to get people to work together is probably the hardest thing to do. So as a business advisor, what system, how do you get people who want to
That's
do
my
their own
specialty.
thing? Yes. How do you get people that want to do their own thing to work and collaborate? Because I believe me, I spent hours.
Yeah.
We spent
Years,
we spent
bro.
over
We spent
$200,000 trying to bring people together, and it doesn't happen.
Okay, but you mean in business or like with
In-
your family
in
or like
business,
in
family,
general?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there similarities, different
Yeah, there
techniques
is.
you can use. Like, go ahead and expound.
So it's just understanding that everyone has a different perspective.
Mhm.
That's it. Honestly, that's what it is. Because what your experience you went through in life is different than yours. So you're seeing life completely different than what he is, what I am. Just because we just had different experiences. We learn as human beings, we learn not just through books and we learn through life. We learn through like going through mistakes, through errors. So my errors are not the same as yours. So understanding and being empathetic with your situation and with someone else can just bring people more understanding and together. Like, for example, I want to give you guys a big example, right? When me and my sister used to fight a lot. Since we were like teenagers, we used to not look at, you know, we were just always fighting. We never had a connection at all.
She your older sister?
She's my youngest.
Youngest.
I honestly, it started before therapy. I went to a self-development class, seminar. It was a 3-day seminar. And, you know, and they were like telling me, like, you know, you got to understand, you got to speak to your sister and see why you don't have a connection with her. And all I did was ask, sis, like, why are you like this with me? We always argue. And she was like, I just wanted your attention since I was a kid. I just wanted, you were always hanging out with Carlos, which is my brother, and you guys left me behind. That I just wanted your attention. I'm like, oh shit.
So she was creating like.
She was creating stories. I was creating stories. Like, she didn't want to be around me. She was always like, you know, upset, or like, you know, at the end of the day.
Would you
And
say there was like a lack of communication?
lack of communication, of course, like communication along, obviously. That's what, honestly, in business, that's what I teach the most. Leadership and communication. That's going to change. If you change the communication channel and understand people a little bit differently than just seeing it from your point of view, that's it.
Do you find it difficult to go around just knowing all this information and knowing you could make businesses succeed, and just, I mean, would you just invest in any business and say, I could probably make this work if I?
No, because not everyone has the same core values as me. So if we don't align with core values, it's gonna be hard for me to just go ahead, because you're not gonna see it from my perspective, and it's not like I want to change your perspective. Again, if it works for you, it is what it is. But in my head, it's like, damn, I want to, you know, I do share the knowledge, and that honestly in business, that's hard too, because it's like, how much knowledge can you share? Like, you know, I don't mind sharing the knowledge, but people are going to go ahead and try to do it themselves, and they're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. I still need her.
Would you be able to, for example, let's say you see an empty store and you're like, okay, well, I could probably put a pizzeria here, and you in your mind you're like, okay, I have a piece of the puzzle. I may not know how to make pizza, but I know I could bring the right people together and make them, understand one another, have compassion for each other, and all the things, all the elements, the recipe to make a successful back office, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel you have that ability?
As a visionary, yes.
Yeah. That's important.
Yeah, as a visionary, I see all the potentials all the time. Again, but I don't want to deviate from my full energy to what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, then I'm going to be all over the place.
Right.
And that happens a lot, and especially someone that just want to help all the time. Like, I see a friend that's have a business, I want to go ahead and help, but she didn't ask for my help.
Right.
So, you know what I do? I just stay away.
Keep it, yeah.
I'm just going to give my energy to the people that actually want it. Not everybody wants that change. And I had to understand that also, because it's just, at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about them.
Right.
No, I was just gonna say that I got a therapist too.
Yeah.
His name's Speedy. You know, like, bro, like, they don't know, but we know you, and you know, you speak to us, and you know, because you have mentioned it. So
thank you. I appreciate
bro.
that. I'm glad that I'm looked at in that light.
Come on, man.
I definitely
I'm gonna call you later.
I'm definitely not trying to talk to Speedy, man. My problems are crazy.
And something also, like, my life coach told me, she was like, if you want these people to connect with you, like, especially family members and stuff like that, you gotta make the effort to change first. You want to offer something that you still don't have yet. I was like, all right, you're right. I had to go ahead and, like, do what I had to do, meditate, do it, you know. And it just, like, you know, at the end of the day, she's right. Like, you want people to see what you see. You want people to better themselves and all that stuff, but you still not where you want to be. So work on yourself, and everybody else will follow, because it's the energy. It's all energy.
It is all energy. Absolutely.
It's all energy.
You believe in astrology?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Here comes the conspiracy.
This is a great switch. So let me ask you, what do you think? Let's say this guy.
Oh,
right
man.
What's his star sign?
Just by looking at
Wow.
me, you could tell. Damn.
There is something.
Did I move a certain way that you could tell? Like,
There is astrobiology. Do you guys know about that?
There is.
There is astrobiology. So I mean, you really could. So there's some people, depending on the constellation and the this and that.
That is true, though.
Yeah, no, there is. There's something. This is interesting. I think there's something called prominences. I don't know if you guys heard of prominences. Well, what prominences are, they're gases that are released in planets, but those gases shift the light a certain way. So when the light actually gets to the planet, it can actually alter your emotions. That's if you believe that there are planets out there. Some people.
there's no planets. What are you talking about, son?
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that there isn't. I'm just saying, you know, there may not. I don't know. Is this?
Yo, my hand itching. I think some money coming through or something. I don't know.
Hey,
Oh,
which
man.
one is it?
Both is like.
Oh, it's both,
It's
so
been
you-
itching all day. Both of them, man.
You a
He's
Pisces.
gonna do the-
Shake my hand, man. Come get some of this bread, man. Let's break bread, brother. Let's break bread.
I definitely don't believe in astrology. Scratch all that.
You don't believe in it?
Damn.
You
Scratch
don't?
that. No, I don't. I believe it in a.
Let's hear your perspective.
Okay, I think this is what I think. If your system is based on the Gregorian calendar, then I don't believe that specific kind of astrology.
Facts.
I believe that there are prominences, for example, something like that. However, I just think that a lot of people are indoctrinated with the 12-month calendar and not the actual lunar.
Lunar.
Yeah, the 12 constellations that there are, and the sun, because the sun's another constellation. So, you know, like people ask me, "Oh, what's your star sign?" And I say, you know, like my astro whatever sign, and I say, well, I'm auspicious, and they never heard of that, you know. But that's
What is that?
Yeah,
What
what
is
is that?
It's the 13th sign. There's 13 signs. There's not 12. There's actually 13. So the sun actually has a sign. You know, because you're looking at it from like the lens of the sun. So the sun is looking at the 12 constellations, but behind the sun there's a whole another constellation. And so yeah, but that's Gregorian, and you know.
Gregorian. You know how we already know how that goes, but
We got colonized.
yeah, we got definitely. Like,
So then, what's before the Gregorian? What was?
Well, the Ethiopic calendar was. I mean, we could say the Ethiopic calendar and also the Mayan calendar were the two most used calendars.
That's right.
Yeah. So shout out to the
to the mind.
to the Mexicanos.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know.
sir. Shout out.
I'm also a self-proclaimed racist and a misogynist. So
Well, damn.
Damn, that's like-
I'm throwing everything out there today, right?
You hate women? That's
Yeah.
what misogyny means.
I'm gonna stay in my
You bugging.
motivational bag over here.
Mm.
Just that. That's it.
Just, you know, people. I have my opinions. You know.
Hey, your
I
perspective.
get canceled quick. Like the other day, we just put up the first video. We didn't even say nothing negative. Yo, we got.
Should I
banned.
say what I said? I didn't say nothing
Yeah, what
crazy.
you say? Say what you said, man.
What'd you say?
We was talking about families and how the man is the head of the household, and that traditionally, I should have said the word traditionally.
I think you did say the word traditionally.
No, I
You said
didn't.
yeah.
I
You said
didn't.
traditionally. You did say traditionally. You said traditionally, men are the heads of the household, and then you went. I know this might be a.
But what happened with that?
Exactly.
It
Like
got
we put it on
canceled.
TikTok, and they said that it was offensive. I didn't curse. I mean, we usually don't curse, but
Yeah.
it was like, okay, if I'm just stating that since the beginning of time it's been man, woman, and child in that order. Like, you know, you can't say that now. You know,
No.
like, is it safe to say?
It's a sensitive.
How is that
topic now.
sensitive? You
No,
know,
no.
you-
I mean, I believe in that as well. Even like a lot of people be like, you know, you're so. Well, I'm like masculine energy.
I didn't get that at all.
Well, because
It
I
depends
have
on-
to be a provider. Just because
Yeah,
of that, I have to be into my masculine energy. I'm a lot of times.
Would you
most of
say
my
you
time.
apply that in business as well?
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, and especially like in real estate.
Mm. Yeah.
You
have
kind
an
of have
eight.
to.
You have an A-type personality where you would kind of be more assertive. You speak your mind, whereas someone would probably
No,
no.
no.
You don't speak your mind.
I speak my mind to an extent because I understand stuff like that. Like people's perspectives can be different, but it's not that I don't speak up. I just journal a lot.
What I mean by speak your mind, I mean like let's say would you ask for a raise, whereas like some people may not ever ask for a raise because they're too timid to
If people are not asking for a raise, it has nothing to do with them being timid. They're just not confident enough to ask that just yet. I'm not saying that they won't build that confidence, but that's mainly the reason why.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Don't put me out on TikTok now.
No, I didn't say nothing crazy, man. Because you said that you have like a masculine traits. Like, do you see yourself? Well, you said you agree with the traditional.
I
roles,
do,
right?
and I recently just came back from a self-empowerment seminar.
Was it like a woman's
A
self?
woman, but it was cool because we heard the man perspective there as well. We, they were interviewing the guys and they were asking them like, how do you feel about women in today's society? Like, at the end of the day, the man spoke and he said, I feel like they don't let us be what we were put in this earth to do.
I can't wait till you ask me that question.
Wait, let me finish.
Let her finish.
Let me finish before. And it's just like it was good to hear their perspective because sometimes it's like, especially in today's world, it's just like, get that bag, girls. Like, at the end of the day, yes, that's amazing. That's great. Get your money. A female should always have their own money. And I don't say that, but as a man, they don't feel like they're in this world to provide. And he was just saying, like, if you don't need us for nothing, like, why y'all mad that you want us for sex? Like, we want y'all for sex. So at the end of the day, you guys not letting us do anything that we were here to put in this work, to put in this earth to do.
Naturally.
So it's like, I'm not saying that, you know, at the end of the day, like, don't get your money, but how do you balance that?
Hold on 1 second. Let me just say this. Let me just turn this mic. Listen, fellas. Can I please just have like, just give me like.
Look, bro, minute and a half.
No,
bro.
I'm gonna need like 10.
Let me drink some water for this.
Yeah, get ready. Just give me like, okay, all right.
Go ahead,
Less
man.
than 5 minutes.
All right. Let me get back here. Okay. So, I don't think women should have money, right? And I'm gonna explain why. Just get ready.
Can you zoom in to my face?
So let me tell you what happens when women get money. In nature, because let's go back to the but what is it?
Prominence?
No. Yes. Providence. You heard of Providence? Providence is like it's what Masons and, you know, people who are into like occult, they would call God providence, right? So let's just call God, God, whatever. God made us a certain way. Just so happens that women are hypergamous. Have you heard of that term?
I've heard, but I don't know much about it.
Okay, hypergamy means that women typically tend to date up. So if you make $100,000 a year, most likely you'll want a man who's going to either match you or make more than you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to date down. You get it? So do you agree with that?
Would you?
Would you date a bus
God.
a bus boy? And I'm not shout out to the bus boys. I'm just saying.
Or regular earner is
like,
40,000.
I feel like yes and no.
Okay, why no?
Because it all comes down to the mindset. Like, if you have a plan to get where you want to go.
Yes, no. This
different.
man is. I want to deliver pizza for the rest of my life because I'm happy. He's happy doing that.
Okay, great.
Okay, you wouldn't date that man.
No.
Okay, all right.
But not because of the money.
Regardless of whatever the reason is, whatever your reason is, specifically, most women wouldn't date a man who's just, I'm content with pizza in 2023. Most women will not date him. All right? Even though that it could bring him happiness, joy, women don't care about that he's happy and he's found peace in that. They're like, scratch all that. You need to be a slave and go do whatever you got to do, but bring money. Right? Okay. So women are hypergamous. Women in the workforce, and now women being incentivized to go to work and not really stay home and not build that nuclear family, that causes for there to be a bit of, it's
friction.
It's a dichotomy that doesn't make sense when you're trying to build a family. You can't say you want a family, but then do things that are going contrary to family. So in a family, you have roles. It's like a business. You have your CEO, you have your CFO, you have your board of directors, uncles, whatever, blah, 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 right? But because women are now out earning men, women have found their empowerment. They're understanding, business more than ever now. They're really, I'm gonna go get it. Even though they're doing, most women aren't making $1 million, but they're, $100,000, some $200,000, which is good. But they think that that's like, they're changing the world because they're making $200,000 a year. That has caused for there to be a discrepancy in men, because men don't like seeing that. Like, honestly, men are like, oh, you make your own money, that's great for you, but how's that benefiting me? Because you're going to take your money, and it's your money. You're not going to actually take care of the bills. You're not paying for me. You're not, we go on a date, I'm still going to pay, right? So now it's like, damn, this woman's making her money. She's saying I don't need no man. I'm not able to wow her because she could get her own bag. She could go fly, do whatever. You're free. You're independent. But then why even use that terminology? Like, you're independent of what? We make money and we want to build families. You make money. You want to be independent of what? Of men. You get it? So it's like we talk about mind state. How is that beneficial?
I'm ready for this.
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's lack of confidence
For men
for men.
to handle a woman that
what
makes
is
more.
like-
Nothing to do with money, in my opinion. Again, in my opinion, my partner can be making 100,000, and I can be making 200,000.
But he would never make 40,000.
It's not even about that. It comes down to the mindset. Again, like what I said, because at the end of the day, like if you have a goal where you want to, if you want to head, because I'm not chasing the money. I'm chasing growth. I'm chasing legacy. I'm chasing change. I'm chasing all of this stuff. That
All
money,
things that men traditionally chase, not women.
I mean, at the end of the
traditionally.
day, we're in a different modern society.
Right.
Yes, and I'm not saying we here to like change the whole like trajectory or whatever the case is, but at the end of the day, it's just if you can do it, why I can't?
Can't do what?
Chase the same thing to change why would I not want to leave a legacy for my son as a single mother now that I see that, and yes, I want to have a partner that can grow. I'm not looking at a competition. I'm not trying to be in a competition with my future husband.
Oh, so you want to get married?
Yes, I do. I
Soon,
believe
or-
in marriage. Well,
when it
God,
comes?
when God sends me one, yes. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to compete in money. Thing is, how are we gonna build a legacy together? How are we gonna grow together? How are we gonna make it better for a different generation, for our kids? I'm not just looking at, because we have all this, as you said, like we have all this rules and perspective of what it should look like. But at the end of the day, have you been there before?
Been where?
Have you been married?
I am married.
Okay, awesome. But have you?
But
like,
my definition of marriage is different than yours because I'm also polygamous.
okay, then that's different. But what I'm saying is, you're talking about women in society's world. I don't see, in my opinion, I don't see it as only the money. I'm seeing it as growth. I want to build generational wealth. I want to build together. Why we can't do that together?
All right. So the average earning man earns 40,000. Average. This is reality.
I'm goal orientated.
I believe
I'm goal
you.
orientated.
The
so
goal. Some hold on, because this is like the perspective, right? It's the brain. This is what I think it is. I think it's a brainwash because it's like it's skewed information. Look, a 40K earning man, right? He has a little house, whatever. He's paying rent, whatever. He's not rich. He's a modest man. 40,000. His goal, let's say, is he wants to get a boat. He wants to be able to raise a family, go on his boat, teach his children how to fish, come home, be at peace, go to work. This is his life.
that's
what brings
he
him.
wants.
That's
Right.
what brings him peace. That man who in 1940, to go back, right, would have been able to accomplish that. A modest, honorable life, something that the mailman was able to go to on vacation. Let me ask you this: do you think that more money circulating, to get a little bit more technical, because I don't, like, we're not really ignorant, like we really do this, like, so do you think money circulating in the economy is when I say money, I mean fiat currency, paper dollars in circulation? Do you think that that's a positive or negative? So women making money, whatever that to them they think that is, do you think that that's a positive or is that a negative?
It's a positive.
All right, so now I'm going to give you, this is law, right? Under the Uniform Commercial Code, a negotiable instrument, a dollar bill could be a negotiable instrument. It's debt. So when you give me a dollar bill, you're giving me a promise to pay. I promise. It's a promissory note. It's a promise to pay. It's debt. Women have more money now than ever, but so has debt that has risen. Right? Why is that? Like, how could that be good for a country? You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but all that debt is not because of only women.
I'm gonna give you an example, like a perspective. Women could drive. If women couldn't drive, let's say we made a law, no women could drive. Guess what will happen? No more traffic.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. And it may be, you know, obviously accidents happen, there could be traffic. But you eliminate a lot of cars from the road.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that
I mean, clearly.
women shouldn't drive. I'm just saying that it would be a solution to traffic. Not saying let's go do that, but I'm saying
So what you're trying to say is that money, like women shouldn't have money because there would be less debt in this world.
that's one reason. But the like
But
overarching reason,
a lot of men doesn't know how to manage money, so
I agree
there's
with
still
you.
gonna be debt.
It's not a
And debt is not a bad thing.
no. If you have so anything that is a negotiable instrument is rooted on debt. So, for example, if you're pushing paper, which is what you do, you're negotiating contracts. What the bank is doing is it's bundling,
Mm-hmm.
right? It bundles it and it sells it off and it gets a debt, and then that's how it generates. It's a debt. So money, as
Right.
people know it, it's a debt. It's not a credit, unless you're on the creditor side of the ledger, and that's a whole different ballgame.
Mhm.
Now you're an accredited investor, an institutional buyer. We're talking about different kinds of different money moves.
Gotcha.
All right, so what I'm saying, the overarching thing that I'm saying is because women are hypergamous and they care about money, like security is the foundation of what a woman really wants. It's not so much the man, it's more the security. That's why a woman would shoot not all women, obviously.
Yeah.
It's crazy that I even have to say all women, because I know in the comment section I'm gonna get killed.
No, and it's because everyone wants different things. A man can want 50 women or 50 wives at the same time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody just have different taste of colors, taste of fucking everything.
Hmm.
It just, you know, everyone just different.
Right.
Like, you know, at the end of the day, like,
If women weren't hypergamous, is what I'm saying. If women weren't hypergamous, then, which is in their nature, so I'm not saying women shouldn't be hypergamous. I think that that's the right way to be. The thing that I'm saying is because they're working and making money
right.
and out earning men, it takes away the security that a man provides, because men already created the institutions that allow for women to feel like they don't need men.
Right.
You understand?
Mhm.
But and that was what I was saying with the man he was saying that he was giving his perspective, and I understood that. But at the same time, it's all about confidence and it's all about energy, right? Yes, I'm right now operating out of my masculine energy because I am a single woman. But I know when I am in a relationship and I know I will have to be more submissive, more of my feminine energy, and I understand the difference in between that. A lot of people lack the knowledge on understanding that.
What was that?
No, I was moving my hand like that.
Oh.
You good?
Lack of knowledge on understanding that, like, you know, just because I make more money than you, that doesn't mean
You wouldn't
I can't,
date a
I
man who
won't be
makes
with
more
someone.
money than that would make less. Would you?
I've had before.
Most women
I've
nowadays.
had before. And he being with me, and I don't even talk about my personal stuff. He tripled that. We're not together, but it has nothing to do with the money part.
I think I understand. It's all ego.
Money-
It's an ego thing.
It's all about confidence. It's all about ego. It's all about energy. Masculine is ego.
But what does that have to do with a man being happy making 40K? And most women, not necessarily you.
Right, but what you're saying
Most-
is different because I wouldn't date him not because he's making $40,000. It's because he's content at where he's at.
But this is what I'm saying to you, right? At what point has he can be a great father, a great leader, a great member of his community, a great overall man, right? A good man for his household, for his, most importantly, his wife and his children.
Then he will find somebody, or if he's single.
You say that. You say that. But the reality, this is reality. Reality is most women are in 2023, most women are overlooking that hardworking, humble guy.
You think every woman?
Most women.
Do you think everyone wants to be an entrepreneur? They want to,
No,
they
not
want to
every-
do. They
but-
don't. So there will always be a level of something, because not everybody's gonna be in the same level.
Then how come most men, this is most men, are now childless and sexless? Most men, the top 20% of men are having sex with majority of women.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah,
But,
so
I mean, I'm not.
so basically, I don't know if, well, to just
I'm
give
not
you-
looking at the statistics of
yeah,
it. but
statistically, higher earning men are now having sex with all women. Like,
why?
because all women have access to these men.
Hypergamy.
Yeah, like for example, if I had,
And it's also ego driven,
well,
in my opinion.
ego driven in what regard?
And men, and if a millionaire was like, he's gonna go to the club and he's just gonna bang all these women, and they're not in his level, it's just a lack of confidence in his end, because he can't get somebody that's in his
But that's
his thing,
that's
in his
making
level.
that's assuming that attraction would be. It's assuming that his level of attraction is your level of attraction.
Symmetrical, right?
Yeah, attraction is not symmetrical. So basically, what I'm saying is that him looking at, like, you looking at his money, he's not looking for a woman who has money, because usually
But
women.
he's looking at that emptiness inside.
No,
I
wait,
mean,
that's metaphysical.
That's multiple women if you say it that way, right?
No, look. What I'm saying is, a man who's a millionaire goes to the club, right? As your example, per your example, he goes to the club and he's like, okay, wow, all these women, like, I have money, so automatically, this isn't him. He could just be chilling, but he got his chain on,
Right.
his watch on. He just pulled up in a Lambo. Like, women are looking at this,
Right.
and they are the ones saying, forget that guy who's over here who came in his Honda. I'm gonna go after that guy who has the Lambo, the this, the that, and the third, and they're all choosing that guy over the rest of the of guys. So that one guy he got all those options, and has nothing to do with him. He just built himself up. Whatever his
That doesn't
reason.
mean that he's happy.
I never said that.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that the girls that are looking for him are happy.
Okay.
It's just this is what women are attracted to. So what ends up happening is that most women are attracted to the same things. So they're all going after the same guys, which lead the rest of the guys sexless, childless, without a family. Like for men, you guys.
What do you
chime in.
when you mean by like going after that same guy? You talking about like the top G's pretty much, right? They're going after them guys.
Well, let me look. This to use her example. There's statistics that show, and there's data. You can't really make statistics off of this, but there's data that shows if a club has 50% men, 50% women, women are extremely choosy. So anything above 50%, like if you approach a girl, most likely she's not going to be interested. She's not going to give you an opportunity to even talk to her, because there's 50% men. She sees that there's way more options. So she wants to remain available, right? It's the same reason why women don't want to delete their Instagram. They want the option to be able to leave in case a better suitor comes. All right. So if there was only 20,
What do you think about that?
hold on. If there's only 20 women and 100 guys, those women all of a sudden they'll talk to anybody. I mean, pardon me. If there's 100 women and 20 men, those women they're all looking for the attention of those guys. So those guys, why do you think, man? Like, dudes throw parties and it's 100 women and 10
handful
dudes.
of dudes.
Because now the competition anxiety that is inside women, they're like, oh, I gotta get that guy. If there's 4 guys, I gotta make sure that they like me. It's nature. It's their nature. You get what I'm saying? So, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I have a completely, I guess, different.
Yeah, you go against statistics.
No, I mean, I just feel like it all comes down to, like you said, women are, they praise the independent part, right? But that's a trauma.
You think that's traumatic?
That's traumatic.
I agree with you. I think
that's very
That's
true.
a traumatic behavior.
I love that you said that.
Because obviously I was once there. I'm very independent, yes, now, but I'm open and I understand that I'm not gonna attract a man like that. So I had to change that perspective.
So you think is a defense mechanism
It
stemming
is
from
a
trauma.
defense mechanism.
Let me ask
I
you.
like that you're self-aware about that.
I'm
That's
very
great.
self-aware.
That's great.
That's that therapy.
That's
Yeah.
therapy. Yes.
That's a life coach.
Ladies,
Okay.
Count- learn from
Lumiwa,
Ceci.
she changed my life.
Learn.
shout out to that.
What's her
woman.
name?
Lumiwa.
Lumiwa. Oof,
Yeah.
what a
Shout out
beautiful
to
name. Lumiwa.
Sound like she Chinese. She Chinese.
No, she's
No,
not.
she's Hawaiian.
Hawaiian.
No.
She's Peruvian.
No, she's not.
Hold on, let me keep guessing.
It's spelled Lumilda, but it's
Oh.
pronounced Lumiwa.
I like that.
She's
Okay.
amazing.
Shout out to
A
her.
lot of y'all women should learn accountability from Ceci. I think that's why she is a business coach too. I think that's why she has the credentials
Yeah.
because she learned that trait,
Mhm.
and that's something that I wanted to talk about too. Like women, their accountability, their accountability meter is low,
Yeah.
and it's stemming from the fact that they get the privilege of being pretty. That's how
They
how
rarely
look.
hear no.
Yeah, right. So it's rare to. It's like looking at a unicorn right now that's sitting here with us, like literally addressing the traumas that you've dealt with to why you are the way you are. However, you're still progressing to.
Yeah.
It's like to change that about yourself. That's deep.
It's that people like, I don't want to speak for a lot, for a lot of people, but I'm just saying, like, if I kept that mentality, like, yes, I'm independent, and yes, I get my own money, yes, and I will always get my own money, but that is a defense mechanism of like my childhood, understanding that, and I will bring it down, like, I could break it down so it could be easier to understand. Being independent, most of the time as a woman, it's just like you had to be independent because of your traumas. My dad was always in my life, and he was always a provider. However, my mom and my dad got separated when I was 4, so I saw my mom struggle. I saw my dad even struggle because at the end of the day, he was an immigrant, so he had to work the means to provide for us and for his mom and his other son in DR. So at the end of the day, he had the minimum. So whatever I asked for, I never got it. So I had to go out there at the age of 15 to start working already. And my father was always upset. Like, you gotta finish high school. You gotta do this. You can't work and go to school. I was like, well, I'm gonna figure this shit out because you can't do anything for me. And I got the bare minimum to go through with life. And honestly, like, I can't do this.
You lived in survival mode.
So that I was already in survival mode. My parents was already in survival mode. My grandparents had 9 kids. They're on survival mode. So what is taught to us is to be on survival mode. So understanding to see money at a different, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get where you're coming from your perspective, but I see differently because I'm no longer on survival mode. So if I meet somebody that's making less of me, like less money on me, less money, or matches, or even over, but the difference is the self-awareness, the mentality, the growth. Are you really happy, like within yourself? Because I can't do that for you. I can't picture that beautiful happiness. That why do you think men are really committing suicide?
Depression.
So
Depression,
many
because
factors.
yes, male don't have the opportunity to be vulnerable.
I don't think men should be vulnerable. I
You
think
have
being vulnerable is as a man is a defect. That is not that women can be vulnerable.
why? What's the difference?
What's the difference between being okay? I'll give you an example. Somebody breaks in here right now, and I decide to be vulnerable. Oh my God! And then I hide behind you, right? That will hopefully one of these lovely studs is gonna get up and fight that guy.
So how about if I get up and fight them? Because I take boxing classes.
Okay.
Then you guys will be less of a man because I'm fighting them?
No. Actually, I would love to actually see that happen. I would love
I'm
to see
just giving you a different perspective because
Well,
you're just seeing it from one.
But okay, so this goes to something we spoke about in the last podcast. I think it's interesting. So do you think that, yes, you may be a professional kickboxer, you're
Right.
Jackie Chan with it. If that guy walks in here,
You don't even kickbox.
this is one of the things that I think Because have you ever gotten into a physical fight with a man?
No.
All right. A 14-year-old could pretty much beat up the best like fighters, professional women fighters. A 14-year-old, a high school freshman, sophomore, can beat on average a professional woman boxer, fighter, whatever. Think about that. Because the violence of a man, women don't see how violent
Because
men
men
can
thinks
really
logic.
get. It's not just that. It's our nature is our bone densities, we're denser, we're more aggressive. So naturally, we all have a subconscious, like, there's only a certain amount of buttons I could push before one of them says, yo, what's up, man? Like, even if I'm Mike Tyson, at some point, the ego, the masculinity, the testosterone, the
which is
anger,
natural, all natural.
which is natural things. They're going to say, okay, you know what? This guy's been disrespecting me. I don't like what he's doing so much. I'm willing, even though he could beat me up, I'm willing to die at this point. Because
Yeah. But I'm not saying not to be vulnerable with the world, but at one point with a woman, if you're not vulnerable with the person that you sleep with or like you're with, then at the end of the day,
when you say vulnerable, you mean what though?
vulnerable in sharing your emotions, because you have the same emotion as ours.
I don't know, but I don't think women really understand all the, trials and tribulations that men go through. That's why, like, that there's a part
It's
in the
not-
media.
I love this podcast. It's just like I'm
This
I'm
is
like
great.
ready
This is great.
There's a
Yes.
part-
This is amazing because it needs to be out there. Men should like go to therapy more often because they feel like they can't have those type of conversations at home with family members. It's like they always got to be that provider at all times. But if we like, I understand energy to a different perspective because I learn it and I live through it, right? Masculine and feminine energy, it doesn't matter if you're a female or a male. Every single human being has that same energy. It's who you choose to share that vulnerability with. And that's okay if you...
I agree.
Right.
Men should...
And I'm not saying that I want to take men out of their masculine energy or like, no, that's just your nature, as you said. But at the end of the day, it's like, how do you balance that? How do I balance
I'll give you,
that?
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put it all out there. When I'm vulnerable, see that man right there? He's probably the only man that, besides like my dad maybe, that seen me actually like cry, like frustration cry. Like I was frustrated, like cried. Besides when my mother passed, I mean I've never really cried. Maybe when we won the the state championship, I was so happy I might have like, and I was like, before my boys seen it, But other than that, men don't. I mean, it's not an attractive thing. I don't think men don't cry. What men really, literally like. You may have cried, in the last month three times.
Yeah, crying is good for you, by the way.
For women.
For women.
But do you guys think that men should be vulnerable, and if so, to who? To their women? Should men be vulnerable?
Nah, men need to be stoic. Men are leaders.
What does stoic mean for those who don't?
Like, very posed, very controlled emotions, and knowing how to, read and be read the room, be logical and things like that. So when it comes to being a man, you need to be a leader, and that consists of making decisions. And a lot of times there's emotions there. So you have to be, very controlled with your emotions in order for us to be strong leaders. And that's what our society lacks.
I got a question.
Yeah?
Leaders
Yeah?
Leaders is
Yes,
woman
no?
and
I agree.
male, by the way.
Huh?
Leaders are both.
Both?
Yeah, leaders are female and male. It doesn't matter the gender. You can be an amazing leader. I am an amazing leader to my son, to my society, to like my community, to everybody that I can impact. If you are impacting, you are a leader.
Would you be a leader to your husband
In a relationship, who's a leader?
in a relationship?
In
That's
a
what I mean.
relationship, yes and no, because I would want him to be a leader as well, and I will give him the space.
You're a boss,
to do
babe.
that. No, I would give him the space. And again, like, it's all about like commitment. And I feel like you said like you wouldn't be vulnerable to your significant other, but in my opinion, I feel like you build a stronger foundation when you both vulnerable, because at the end of the day, like, you're the one with this person, you're growing with this person. It's like, damn, you're only telling your friends about your certain situations, when in reality it's like, we can fix this shit together. Shit happens, how can we fix it?
Solution based.
I think
It's everyone has issues in their own way. It's just finding a solution. How can we figure that out together?
When I speak about leadership, I mean in general. You know,
I get what you're saying, but I'm just like, for the viewers out there, like, you can be a female and be an amazing leader, and so as men. Like, you know, I wouldn't take that away from them.
Okay.
Preach.
Preach, baby.
She has very beautiful words.
Yeah. She's been here before.
So I have a question.
Last question.
Is it my last question?
Yeah.
Go ahead, guys. You guys.
To be continued.
Nah, go ahead. Ask me.
Okay.
Go do your thing.
Okay. All right. So, with regards to being a wife, right? Because you said you wanted to get married.
I
right?
do.
Okay. In a relationship dynamic, what are your thoughts on your husband and how he would be a father figure or father? Because I guess my question is, yes, you're looking for a husband, but really also, like, in addition to, you're also looking for like a stepfather, right? Yeah. So a leader for your child. So how would that what kind of qualities would that kind of man have?
A male figure, not just, you know, a father, a friend figure, like someone that he can honestly be comfortable. I don't ever want him to take away that his father is in his life. His father is very present in his life, and I would never take that away from him. And I'm very grateful that his father is in his life for that reason, because I feel like every child needs a father and their mother involved in their life. But someone that he can, you know, also, like, it's hard for my son just to see that I'm just a leader, because at the end of the day, it could be biased, right? He's a boy, and I want him to also see a leader.
He's a young man.
Yeah,
he's a young man. He needs a male role model,
right?
Male leadership. Yeah. And
I want him to also see a leader from a male's perspective. I'm not saying that his is not taking his dad road. I would never want him to do that. So just being somebody that he can get impacted as well.
Right. Okay.
And have like morals and just core values and all that stuff.
Co-parenting, baby.
Yeah.
When you say
it's key.
Yeah.
It's key.
It's patience.
Do you
man.
So here's a lot of times in divorce, were you married prior to, or
no?
Okay. So
but 9 years. What is that?
You're married. Well,
okay.
Well. So here, let me give you
in the Hispanic culture, you're married.
Let me give you my definition of marriage. And I actually had somebody comment under one of the clips that we put up about this. So the institution of marriage is state, right? It's we get a certificate from the state. But marriage in itself comes from religious doctrine, and it actually, what marriage literally means, it means to have sex. So if you lost your virginity, you're married. That's the reality of the word and where it comes from. It's you consummated. You became one. With your partner. And we can get a lot deeper into that, and I'm sure next time maybe we will.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's my dad's perspective. I remember telling him I was pregnant, and he's like, "Oh, so you're getting married?" I'm like, "No."
Good follow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but at the end of the day, I understand where my father is coming from, because that's just how he was.
Well,
you know, I mean, at the end of the day.
Do you think our parents are more traditional? Like, we grew up with more traditional parents, and So what about the parents now? Are they more traditional? In general.
I don't want to say I'm as traditional, because traditional can also come with the same baggage that everything else comes with.
Okay, so and this was kind of where my question was heading. In marriage, divorce, usually it says irreconcilable differences is the main reason for people divorce. 80% of marriages end in divorce. 99% of relationships end in separations. So my question to you would be, with those statistics, most of the time, it's financial, right? Money problems.
Right.
Money problems is a huge issue. Once a man makes over $250,000, divorce is almost non-existent. Just a stat to throw out there,
Right.
to prove that hypergamy thing, right? But my question is this.
Last question.
Yeah, my last question. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Would you consider in a relationship a man being someone that you love, someone that you care about, a man that you respect, having like a side girl? Let's say you're in a relationship with this man, and you guys have a great relationship. Would you separate yourself from that man, or have you separated yourself from men because of having another woman?
I mean,
even though that's in a man's nature to do. I mean,
what do you? I mean,
yes,
I've gotten played before.
Wait, no. Here's another question, because
So
I don't
like,
think
wait
it's.
a minute.
I don't think it's getting
But
played.
I didn't. I mean.
Here's another
I
question.
accept it, I guess?
Yeah. Here's another question. Sorry, guys.
Last question. I have to. Yeah, I got you.
Would you just leave your man for that reason, for infidelity, or would you?
I would not accept it.
You wouldn't accept infidelity.
No.
So what if he was honest? Do you think the man? So my question is, do you think a man loves? Who do you think the man loves more, the woman that he tells the truth to, or the woman that he lies to?
I guess the one that he tells the truth to.
So if your man told you, like, now this is your man, now you guys are already in a relationship.
I mean, if he's cheating and not telling me.
No, not cheating. It's not cheating. He's telling you the truth. He was like upfront, clear, telling you, hey, this is my nature. This is what I am as a man.
I respect it, but at the end of the day, we can't be together.
See, but then there's the question of,
because I'm not accepting it.
It's like, would you accept me just having sex with another girl, or would you accept another wife to come together and we're together? You know, it's you know what I'm saying?
Even though that's natural. Like, all men cheat.
All men cheat.
ALL. All men, if they had the opportunity.
If they had the so what's that? So what's the other opportunity? Like, if you said if they had the opportunity, if they didn't have the opportunity, they're not all then.
The reason why men wouldn't have the opportunity is because he wouldn't have the resources in order to cheat. Because women are hypergamous. So if a woman goes to a man, it's usually not because he's the most attractive man in the world. A lot of times it's because he can provide value to some extent. He may be a good man, good speed, he could talk. He's built himself to a place where he can actually get girls, because not all men could get girls. How many guys are probably in your DM right now that are thirsting? Maybe years of thirsting.
I mean, not much. You know why? Because you know what I've gotten so many times? I intimidate.
Yeah. What? How?
I intimidate because of my I'm not coming from a toxic environment anymore. So this society in men, there's a lot of toxicness because nobody wants to do the work. Nobody wants to do the mental health that they need. People are like battling themselves. People are afraid of the truth.
Give me an example
when
of
it comes to
men
them. Like, at the end of the day, that's intimidating from someone that, yeah, I know my actual truth and I don't care to share it because I already owned up to it.
That's right.
So a lot of people are not as confident to say that, to do that, to do the work on doing that. It could be male or female, a male or a female. At the end of the day, it's just like, if you don't battle yourself and go through like the freaking, like, healing is it's not fun. Healing is really going through the pain, going through all the bullshit, going through all of those emotions.
He has another question.
Do you think?
Come on, man, stop.
Hold on, last question. Do you think the man that is like cheating, do you think he needs to go to therapy to stop from cheating?
I mean, there is probably a reason why he's cheating.
what if it's in our nature to want multiple
That's
women?
your perspective. I mean, at the end of the day, that's not all male. I mean, I was in a healthy relationship prior. And this is something like, if you're laughing, it's because you probably know something that I don't know.
No,
and you guys are male.
He's blinking hard. Like he's
Go ahead.
Oh, it's because you gotta go.
No.
The camera.
No.
It's just because most women think this way, and it's.
I'm not trying to change any man.
No. It's
Because
just interesting
females say that, like, you know, at the end of the day, like, I'm not trying to change no one. If you don't make the effort to do that for yourself, to continue growing within, then at the end of the day.
So that's what I was saying.
She's about to make a really good point.
My
What were we about to say about your relationship? You was in what, and then
You
what?
nobody else can bring you happiness if it's not you. Like, you can't just mesh and feel like, oh, we can just make each other happy. No, you gotta make yourself happy in order to bring happiness, because it's energy, it's all attraction. If I'm not happy within, that's what I'm attracting. It's gonna be in a toxic relationship that I no longer want to be.
Before that, you was about to say that you was in a healthy relationship and something.
I mean, for what I have known, right? I was in a healthy relationship. My last relationship was very healthy compared to what I experienced before. And I didn't feel like there was any cheating there. And it was a very open communication. We were able to discuss without a actual, disagreement. Like, yeah, we would disagree, but communicate at the same time.
So what ended it?
Mindset.
If
No,
you
right.
care to share.
No, right.
I'm sorry.
No. Mindset. Like, at the end of the day.
Money.
No, it's not money. No.
Because that's most relationships.
No, it wasn't about money. It was about mindset. Honestly, we weren't in the same level mentally, and honestly,
I'm not assuming. I'm just saying. I'm just asking.
No, honestly, he
was at a lower level.
Yeah, because he was introduced to like all of the knowledge that I already had grasped. So to him, it's like, how this shit is possible? Like, no, it's not. Like, what the fuck? Like, it was just something that he was introduced to. Like, it's a whole different world. Like, this is why it's different. Like, yes, I don't have many men in my DMs because of what I post, and they know that, like, I'm not somebody that you can just. You're not thirst trapping. I'm not. I really can
Something
care less.
that I notice with women is that a lot of women, you can literally see. It's like kind of like the evolution chart of them posting, and it's not to say all. Is women that I see, they posted thirst traps. They go from posting thirst traps to getting pregnant. No, I'm sorry. Thirst traps, right? And then they go MIA for like a whole year, and then they pop up at the baby shower. You see the baby shower picture. They show the baby, the one baby. Then after that, it's back to thirst trapping. It's like a 360 cycle. It's like a cycle.
But it's because of their traumas, their behaviors.
For
like
sure.
At the end of the day, I want you to understand, like, it's all about mindset and healing. Like,
you think that's trauma based?
I think
all that
women
stuff.
should
Too?
that is trauma. That's lack of confidence.
Why?
That's lack of confidence. And I'm saying it out of experience because I've been there. I yes.
It's wisdom. That's wisdom right
women
there.
should only have one sex partner their whole life.
What the fuck?
All right, I think we should end the
now
podcast.
we cut it because now I'm gonna just go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
What was your experience with?
It was outgoing. I actually enjoyed it. I was just saying, like, I don't really have these type of like communication or conversations. I mean, and only like with certain friends. So it's cool that I'm open about it and just sharing the knowledge that I honestly think I encounter.
Yeah, it was, me personally, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. You're very, very kind soul. You're, I think you're more feminine than masculine.
Right, that's very true.
I know how to balance, I guess, right?
Yeah, people definitely want to hear some more, so to be continued.
Yeah, definitely. And something, honestly, that we can touch based on is women in real estate. For that reason,
I would love to talk more about that.
And for the viewers, drop your Instagram, drop your handles, So
everything. Any shout outs, to your son. Shout out to
my son.
Where
and
can
my
they follow
sister.
you?
She's home. You can follow me on Instagram, adorable Ceci.
We'll tag
yeah.
everything down below for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
We
All right.
appreciate you.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have any
For
last?
sure.
You already know. Got to
Man,
put my
I'll-
people on. That's it.
Absolutely. So, guys, thank you guys for tuning in, and peace.
Yep.
Peace.
See you later.
Peace.
But hold on, we have one sex partner their whole life.
What the fuck?
All right, I think we should
No,
end the
now
podcast.
we cut it because now I'm gonna just go
We
hang.
appreciate you for your time. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Listen,
You're wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
we're definitely
Appreciate
having you
it.
back. Definitely having you back. Thank you
I'm
so
happy
much.
to be back.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.